Good morning. I am taking you today to get Tissy out of her stable. She's 23 now and this is her first year of being stabled over winter, just because she can't eat haylage as well. She's got arthritis in her jaw, she's got a few issues with her teeth, so if I left her out in the field she wouldn't show, she'd lose a lot of weight, she wouldn't eat as much as she should do, and I am giving her the British Horse Feeds Speedy Beet and Fibre Beet mixed as a haylage replacement, because it's much easier for her to chew, it's much denser in calories, and she's been on that routine now for 3 weeks and she's actually looking really good. I know I could give her that out in the field, but actually the boys would eat it all and she wouldn't stand a chance, so she has to come in. She's actually really enjoying it. I thought she would not really like being stabled. So in the week, I normally get to the yard about 6:10 because I need to do her before I go to work. But we have gone a bit later today because if we took you at 6:10, it'd still be pitch black and you wouldn't be able to see anything. So we've gone a little bit later just so that we can see it, and we're going to take you through Tissy's winter routine. Oh, that has a cold. Morning, Wiz! No? Normally when he's at me every morning when I open the gate. Obviously cross because we're late. So normally, every morning, I literally jump out of bed because I put my alarm clock away from the bedside so that I can't snooze. I literally put some trackies on and an old school hoodie, anything like just baggy and fleecy, because I have like an aversion when I first get out of bed to wearing tight clothes. And then I jump in the car, and when I get here, then put on my very attractive waterproofs. Yep, this is fashion. Usually I'm the first here as well. All I do is brush my teeth, get dressed and go, and then I'll go back home. That's Tissy. Do a 20-minute workout, like body weight workout or like light weights, because I don't have very heavy weights at home. Then I'll do my like literally 10-15 minute housework, and then I'll go to work, and I start work at 8. So that is like my morning routine. When I get back from the yard, I'll like wash my face, put some makeup on, put my uniform on after I've done my workout. Good morning. Hey. Good morning, pony. Are you cross? Are you cross because we're late? Yeah. So normally it's dark, so I have my little brick step to get to the light. And normally she's actually very neat and she poos in one pile, but because we're late she's obviously been walking around and it's a little bit messy today. Hi! Got gunk in your eye. Hello? Okay, so first things first is take off her stable rug and put her turnout on. And then I have my little rug holder here. This is where kind of my hacking out rugs, nighttime, daytime, travel rug, Tissy's cool rug, and Tissy's stable rug goes. And then I have the turnout at the back so that it doesn't like drip on the bedding and things. I know that a lot of people keep their turnout on overnight, but especially if it's wet, I just don't want all the wet mud and the bedding getting all mixed in, and I think it's nicer for them to lie down when their rug isn't all soggy. Yeah, Wizzle? Then I like to grab my head collar and the 2 feed buckets. Because I don't have much time in the morning, I like to try and be super efficient. So this is what I put her haylage replacement in, and this is what I put her normal feed in, and I take it with me. You're actually going to see that the feed room has been taken up by a new little pony, and now everyone's feed is in the barn. Let's go with. Usually there's like a ray of light from the barn here, because obviously it's dark and I've turned the barn lights on, and I just pick up my buckets on the way back. Everything is icy and cold.
Why doesn't she like staying in?
She just likes being out. She likes being a horse. She loves grass, likes to move. Wait. I know I'm doing it. Here you go.
Better.
So in the field, the boys aren't in there at the moment. They are still on their winter holiday at my parents' house. But there are 2 hay feeders that I put haylage nets out in at night time, so I don't have to do them in the morning. And then if it's frosty and cold like this, so there's not a lot of grass, they do still have something to eat. The fields have got quite boggy already, and we're actually really lucky that it's cold this morning, because as you can see by the mud on my wellies, it actually comes, well, on my trousers, it actually comes quite high up. I put my head collar in my wheelbarrow, in the wheelbarrow lineup, and I actually keep my mucking out stuff in my wheelbarrow, and then we go round to my new little feed room. Welcome. My kit corner is now including my feed room, so I just moved my shelves to put my supplements and stuff on here, and then popped this. Okay, so in the morning I have to soak Tissy's hay replacement, so her fibre beet and sugar beet mix. The fibre beet and the sugar beet actually only take about 45 minutes to soak, but I actually mix my speedy beet with my last sugar beet as well, just because it makes it kind of slightly more calorific, and actually I find that the horses kind of like it more because I guess it's a bit more sugary, but it also makes the water that the sugar beet water a little bit kind of tastier, so they keep more hydrated. So she has 1 stub scoop of the fibre beet. Look, it looks so yummy. And then 1 stub scoop of my sugar beet speedy beet mix. I will make up her feed later. I used to stir my feed with one of my old drumsticks. I used to play the violin and the violin and the drums. But I wasn't here when the feed room got moved, and it got lost in the move, so I've stolen a wooden spoon from the kitchen. So even though Tissy is on this as a haylage replacement, I still put ad lib haylage in her stable. For a small hay net, it takes like 3-4 days for her to eat, so she doesn't actually eat very much of it anymore. But I like to make sure that she never goes hungry and there's always forage for her. So I pre-fill all my hay nets and I put them up here, and then I have 2 gorilla tubs at the back of my haylage bale. One gorilla tub is for big nets that go out in the field, and one gorilla tub is for the smaller nets that go into the stable. So once I've kind of used them all, then I will fill them all up at once again, so that I don't have to do hay nets every day. I'd rather do them like all in one big bulk. Okay, so hay net changeover first. I actually don't tie any of my hay nets. I use these carabiners. Don't worry, everything is carabined or tied through baler twine, so that if anything was to happen or get caught in it, then it's going to come loose. No one's going to get trapped. And it just means it makes a really nice carrying handle as well. And what I do is I put a little knot in the top of the hay net. I actually hang them upside down, so I'll put them up. Run this through. So there's 3 kind of break points. So if that would break, that's going to catch it. If those 2 break, this one will catch it. If something pulls on it, they'll all go in one. So that is the hay net swapped over. And then I like to get my little pooper scoop to get all the bits that are really obvious and not in the bedding.
Glamorous part, yeah?
The glamorous part. There's no glamour here. Like, I haven't even brushed my hair.
I mean, you've got a massive hat on, so it doesn't really
matter. And normally, before work in the mornings, I would literally be in trackies and a really baggy hoodie. But it's covered by the waterproof, so who cares? Normally it's not this messy, so normally I don't know if I've got a picture. If I do, Dan will insert it here. Normally Tissy poos in like a little pile there. There might be one poo on the bedding. Wheeze in the same spot every time. It's just super easy, but obviously cross that we were late. So I know that my way of mucking out my stable is neither what the British Horse Society or Pony Club would probably recommend or the most efficient, but I will explain why I do each bit as we go. Oh, that's Rupert saying hi. So next I will get my brush and just brush everything up to the halfway point, and then it just makes it easier and quicker for me to use the fork to get all the little bits in the hay out. Then I bring my wheelbarrow in. So I actually leave a gorilla tub and a pooper scooper in the corner. That's because as soon as Tissy comes in, she poops, so it means I can scoop it up straight away. But also I use this to tack up, and when the boys are in here and if they've pooped, there's always something to do. I also find that rather than having to move to the wheelbarrow all the time, just having a bucket makes everything so much easier. So first of all, this is my junior shavings fork, but I really couldn't tell you how old it is, but it is almost as old as me because I've had this since primary school. So longevity, amazing. So I get the obvious bits of poop out first. Once I've got the obvious bits out, I then start to throw it up. So the reason I throw it up, so I'm on blue ribbon wood pellet bedding, which I absolutely adore. Like, it takes a while to get used to, and yes, it's not all white and clean looking, but actually I find it cleaner, like practically. You don't have to throw it up, it soaks all the wee in, it doesn't really get very wet underneath, you'll see in a sec. But because I use this stable, there's no like grooming and tacking up area at this yard, you use your stable. So because I use it to tack up, I don't want the boys coming in here and while I'm tacking up there's bedding going everywhere, and if I groom them and there's mud coming off them and there's bedding down, it gets mixed in. So I throw it up for that reason. So next I throw up and I have my bucket for all the kind of little bits. Bedding is so easy to get all the poop out because it literally just falls through. And if you throw it up, all the poop rolls down to the bottom of your pile. So once I've thrown up most of the dry bedding, Tissy does like a little wee island, almost always in the same spot, and I kind of scrape away the dry from around the edges. And this is why I love this bedding so much, because it really soaks up the wee, and you don't, like you can see now, that's the wee bit. Okay, so you literally, in you go, ready for it to turn over. All the clump of wee. Don't say I don't show you all the like cool things, jeez. The glamorous life. Clump of wee.
What's going to be that one?
Clump of wee.
What about that one?
It's a clump of wee.
Oh, this is the best list.
I know. And it really soaks everything up. Like, it doesn't smell. I know this is weird. But if you're horsey, this is not weird. It doesn't smell wee, if you know what I mean.
Is that a word?
Wee. Wee. Okay, so once I've got most of the clumps up, I will then get my brush and my poop scoop, and where she's weed, I'll just get that all in. Now, because I'm a physio, I like to make sure I brush using both sides and switch hand. So I'll do this side one way and the other side the other. It's all about evening up. So if it was a weekday, I would then literally put my wheelbarrow over here, finish sweeping up and be done, because the extra time getting to the upkeep and unloading just doesn't fit into my schedule. So I'll leave it here and then I'll put it out when I get back from work. Today we will go to the upkeep, but my final thing before we are finished in here is just to give it a little bit of an extra sweep up with the corn broom brush, just because it flicks everything out the way. So anything kind of in front of this line goes out the door and gets swept up, put in the wheelbarrow. Anything behind will just sweep up, and it's just because I just don't want all the mud when I'm grooming to get mixed up in the bedding. Ooh. Now Tissy quibs a little bit, so when she chews she does drop a bit of her feed, and don't worry, she is seen by the dentist very regularly, and it's just the state of her teeth and her jaw now. You know, she's 23, she's getting on. So she does actually make quite a mess outside her sink, because she likes to like take a bite, look over the door. You'll see later when we take you to bring her back in. She literally, a little bit of a munch, look over the door, a little bit of a munch, look over the door. Next we'll fill up Tissy's water. Oh, I think the hose is a bit icy. Keep that full. Take it in. And then pop a lid on it. One, so that the dogs and cats, if they do jump in, don't start eating it. But two, because I would normally bring Azid or Qantas in first to ride before bringing Tissy in overnight, obviously. So this just stops anyone from munching it when they shouldn't be. And then normally that's me done in the morning because that's all I have time for, but today we are going to take the wheelbarrow out and I need to put a new shavings bag in.